Hey, good morning. I'm going to do an update this morning on the Double Dragon Hotel. Here we have Murray. Hello, Murray. Good morning. Good morning. There we go. Focus. He's such a good boy. He's been doing really well. And I was asked for an update on Rose and Murray. He's been doing fairly well, but he did take a break from normal digestion for a little bit, and dragons do that, and that's what I'm going to talk about. He took a break from normal poo and did watery a few times, and then the last time there was a large, firm urate plug, and that happens a lot in bearded dragons, and I've noticed that, a lot of my friends that have dragons, they've had some issues recently with that, and we all do our best to feed these guys, as much as they want to eat, as many vegetables as they want. And I kind of feel like, their bodies were designed for how they live in the wild, obviously. They're not dogs. They haven't been domesticated for 10,000 years. So in the wild, they would have, that's yesterday's, it's dried, but, that plate is about 5 inches across. And that's a lot of food if you look at the size of their bodies. We want them to be healthy, so we feed them pretty much as they want, and then there's a lot of arguments online for so-and-so's dragon is obese, and then they have liver problems when they finally get sick and go to the vet. So if you think about how much would a dragon really eat in the wild, and if you look at pictures of wild bearded dragons, first of all, I highly recommend that. They're beautiful, but they're not chunky like this guy. They're just not. They can be big, they can be stout, but even though Murray's not obese, he's got a really healthy skeleton. I've got an X-ray of that, and he's got a lot of muscle. He is an example of, if you care for them pretty much, properly. I did make some mistakes along the way. They can be pretty hefty. He's almost 2 pounds. He's 24 inches long. And even though his tail's got some little patches, he has his whole tail. The last inch of his tail, the shed didn't keep going. I didn't want to mess with that. And then he's got a patch in the middle there. And I see you. Oh, he doesn't like it. Look at his beard. So we do our best, right? In captivity, we try to replicate the sun. We try to feed them all the good stuff and a variety. They just don't get that in the wild. So if you see wild animals and if you see their poo, it's not a lot for one, and it looks like you can almost see what they ate. They're not eating as much. They're just not, and they're not as hydrated as well. So I'm going to step over here to Rose kind of quickly so you don't see my messy dining area. This is all a kitchen dining area in one. So now the update on Rose. I didn't want to do an update in the middle of what was going on because I was a little bit nervous for one, and hi pretty girl. Yep, it's the big rectangle again. She's like, can you put more food in my bowl? Not yet, Rose, and this is why. She laid eggs. She laid 13 this time, and it had been, after that, similar to the first time. She kind of just laid around, but I didn't wait. I didn't just let her rest. I knew that for her, she needed the slurry with the calcium and vitamin D, and a little bit of the Rapashi's Beardy Buffet. And I uploaded a video on how to mix all that up. Check it out if you need to, if you've got a stunted female dragon like I do, who's laying eggs. She's probably gonna not recover as quickly as a healthy dragon. I get it, Rose. You don't want me here, do ya? Do ya? So 16 days went by. I had given her on one day about 2 mLs, like 2 droppers full of baby food prunes. Nothing happened. And she wasn't on a rock like this. She was kind of laying down on her little stuffed animal there that she claimed as hers. I couldn't take it away. But if you see, they like to kind of lay at an angle. I feel like that might be part of the digestion thing. For them, their system is not made like ours. It's different. But 16 days went by and I thought, okay, I gave her those prunes. And then a couple days later, I gave her some more prunes and some of the watery slurry, trying to help, and I didn't want to feed her too much, but she was still eating. She was just filling herself up. I thought, this can't be good. There's no blockage or she wouldn't want to eat. And at first she ate so much, there's a video of that. She had her mouth open. I thought, oh boy, we got to go to the vet again. But yesterday morning, first thing, I thought I'm going to give her as warm of a bath as she can stand. I also did a video on how to check the water temperature, how to get it right. That's, we don't have temperature control. Like, you can't see the number on our faucets, You could test the temperature of the water, but if you go by the temperature of your hands, when you touch the dragon, if your dragon is cold, you want the water colder than your hands. If the dragon's been basking for a while, there might be a little bit warm to the touch, then you want it a little bit warmer than your hands. But I did it a little bit warmer than my hands, but not much warmer than that. And I put her in the bath, and I would add warm water as time went on. I didn't let the water cool down. She was not comfortable, I could tell, but she pooped, and it was pretty quick. But that works like a charm, a nice warm bath, as warm as you can get it. Don't scald your dragon. I'm so afraid to say a lot of stuff on video because people go crazy with the information instead of using their head. So I try to be very specific, and it's not an insult to anyone. It's just to clear up any confusion, just so we don't make those normal mistakes that we do and hurt our animals when we don't really mean to. But she pooped, and it was a lot, and it was another firm urate. So she is stunted. I think she's maybe I'll be generous and say she's about 2/3 the size of a healthy, fully grown dragon. I know, I see you, baby girl. So she just eats way too much. I mean, doesn't mean every part of her body is stunted. She's got gigantic hands. Can you see how big her hands are compared to her body? They're big. She was supposed to be a big dragon. In the first year of her life, all she ate was crickets. You can't do that. If you're doing that, you need a variety, just like we have. In the wild, that's all they would get is variety. They wouldn't eat crickets for a year. They'd clean out the crickets and move on, So she pooed, and I put her big rock back in there. She got a little bit hurt, like she started to fall off of it before laying eggs, so I took it out of there. So it was a little bit safer for her to just run circles, which is what she was doing. If I took her out of the tank, she'd just sit there. She's still nervous here, even though it's been 8 months. I'm doing my best, guys, and I appreciate the comments. And for those of you that subscribe, thank you so much. When you guys message me or comment, it means a lot, and I love answering questions. But if you don't know me outside of YouTube, I'm also on Instagram. I'm also on Discord, and I love hearing from you all. I love hearing how your dragons are doing, and we're one big community, that are trying to just learn about reptiles. It's not like dogs, we don't have thousands of years. We've got maybe since the 60s and 70s, and that's it. So we're doing our best. But please like the video, subscribe, comment. And if you want to share it with somebody else who likes reptiles, who just wants to see a bearded dragon sitting still for 10 minutes, which is about what they do all day, yeah, share my stuff. I'd really appreciate it. If my channel catches on, that's wonderful. If it doesn't, that's okay too. I love this little community where we all talk to each other. It's pretty great. And it helps me stay motivated because I'm not a reptile rescue. I'm not. And I wasn't ready for this at all. So just getting that feedback and knowing that people care and they want to know how they're doing, that means a lot. So right now, she's back to loving her big brown rock. and her stuffed animal, and I'm gonna put all her stuff back in her tank. I had that paper towel in there in case she, you know, the prunes kicked in. So I'll be cleaning it up a little bit and giving her a little bit less food at a time, I think. You know, what do you say, Rose? I mean, we always think, especially in my country, I know some of you aren't in this country, we think big is healthy, you know, and it's not necessarily. So we're going to throttle back and try to feed her a better amount, maybe a smaller amount, but twice a day, instead of a huge amount twice a day. She's like a tiny Homer Simpson. It's hilarious. So thank you so much for watching. And thank you for sending me messages. It means a lot. I'm going to put my links to my Instagram. And on Discord, I'm just Double Dragon Hotel. If you can search and find me, I'm in a reptile rescue community on there that's kind of, that was initiated by a reptile rescue. He's got videos online, Animal One Guy. If you want to check out his stuff, he's really helpful. He knows about a lot of other reptiles other than dragons too. So thank you so much. And if you have questions or if there's anything you'd like to see me do a video on and talk about, I'm happy to do so. I wish Rose was doing something more entertaining, but you know, she's doing really well to have crawled over to her rock. And I'm proud of that. I'm just happy that she's still doing okay. There's been days where I told her, Rose, you need to make a choice. You're not going to feed yourself. I'm not going to continue doing it. I can't. Of course I would. I just, you know, try to tell her that. I say, you need to choose between me and Steve Irwin. That's it. Those are your two options. I'm pretty cool, but maybe he's better. You know, sometimes animals, they want to live, and sometimes they're kind of done with it. Kind of like people. So you all have a wonderful day, and give me some ideas for another video. I'll do it for you. Thank you.